Hi, so I'm here with the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Environment Trust, Dr. Theresa Rodriguez-Moodie. Hi, Theresa, welcome.
Hi, Dainalyn.
So you're enjoying yourself at this event?
Yes, so far.
All right, so it's a high seas event and it's exploring the role of the high seas, which I understand is the area beyond national jurisdiction. So how does that make it important for us to be concerned with what's happening beyond our borders?
Well, when you don't own something and it's like everybody has responsibility for it,
Yes.
it then it turns out that it can be abused, it can be exploited, and this is exactly what we see happening. So this is why this agreement is so important, because it's not an area to just be ignored and extracted and to be used for our liking. It really needs to be protected.
Right. So I'm not diving into the treaty. I'm just, because I know you have familiarity with agreements in the sense of the process. So we understand that Jamaica has signed and now there are steps to ratify. So just to break down just that technicality of.
Well, basically, if you only sign an agreement, it just really remains on paper. If you're talking about ratification, that is important when you're talking about implementation, right? And so this is why you need to go all the way across the finish line and get it done, so you can actually implement, enforce, and so forth, put all those things into action.
Right. So we were very happy to see and not surprised that JET is involved in this kind of event. And when we think about ocean conservation and protection, what it means for our coastal communities and otherwise, how is it? I'm trying to understand, or helping people to understand rather, the importance of really focusing on ocean and ocean protection.
Well, I think everybody thinks that, there's so many different oceans. There's one ocean, right? It's connected, and everything about life on Earth depends on ocean, on the ocean. Our climate, our food supply, everything depends on the ocean. But it's been abused, and it's constantly being up for exploitation. It's either we want to do deep sea mining, or we want to do bottom trawling, and the fact is that it needs to be protected. And so this is why we really are here today, because we believe that the ocean it doesn't need saving, it needs defending. And this is why we are here today.
Right. I'm happy you mentioned deep sea mining, because I was going to ask you, that was my next question, when we're looking at the High Seas Treaty, which is essentially protecting and conserving the area beyond our borders, what does that mean for deep sea mining? Because we know that there has been a lot of conversation and concern around the issue of deep sea mining.
Well, it would be a bit of a contradiction, because deep sea mining is about extracting and exploiting in the very those international waters, and BB&J is about protecting the agreement. So I'm not sure we can do both. Right? I think so. It's very important that Jamaica ratifies this agreement, because it would really mean that we are focused on protecting the ocean, and we understand, as a small island developing state, even more importantly, we understand why we need to protect the ocean. Because if anything goes wrong with the ocean, as we see, where the ocean starts heating up, it's polluted, it's being impacted by all of these things, the entire climate system can go out of whack. And who are the first places to feel these impacts? It's the small island developing states like Jamaica. We need to protect it.
All right. So about the film, because I know that there's a special feature for this event, which is a screening of Sir David Attenborough's Ocean film, which is receiving, worldwide acclaim and so on. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen a couple clips. I'm a little nervous.
Why?
I've read a couple reviews because, well, the clips, first of all, was distressing, because it really showed what we as a people have been doing to the ocean. And so I get a little emotional when I see some of these things. And I think really what I am hoping that, I'm already inspired to protect the ocean, but I really hope that those who watch it today, and even when it becomes available in homes, that they become even more inspired, not depressed, because I know sometimes we can see these things and it can get overwhelming. I really hope that people see this as an opportunity, as a call to action to protect the ocean, to work even harder to protect the ocean, and not to just kind of let go and, oh well, let's move away from that attitude. I think there's still hope. And so even though the film may, I think from what I've read, it may really cause us to really ponder, wow, what we've done. At the same time, I hope that it inspires action.
All right, because it's giving us, we're the problem, but we can
Yes.
also be the solution.
Exactly.
Which is now leading me up to my final question, and a question that I know you get all the time. It's common, but it's a critical question. When people watch that film and they wonder, I want to do something, what can I do? What do we say to those people?
They're different things. I think it really depends on where you are. And, if you're in an organization that can do more, then use your voice. If you're just in not even in an organization, you're your own individual. I think the first step to action really is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and I think if you understand, because I think as we're growing up around the sea, we kind of ignore the sea. If we understand the importance of the ocean, the role that it plays, I think that's the first step. So get yourself educated on the ocean, and understand that our actions impact negatively the ocean, but our actions can also protect the ocean as well. So I would say the very first thing that I would encourage anybody to do is just take a look at anything, documentaries, read, watch this film when it comes out, so that you can know what you can do.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Theresa Rodriguez-Moodie, but I call her Theresa, so yes.
Thank you,
All right.
Dainalyn.
So thank you for sharing with us. Okay.